Internet when you live in a field like me is actually pretty simple nowadays. That's with a direct hookup to the satellite network with something like Starlink. Then you have pointing an aerial directly at the antenna to receive phone signal through the 4G, 5G network. I've gone from a 4G tiny little system to that bigger aerial I just pointed to, and then to the Starlink. Both of them you literally just plug in either the Starlink satellite or the antenna straight into a router. You either need to have a subscription to the Starlink network to access the internet, or you obviously need to have a mobile phone provider with a SIM card for you. Usually a contract one will give you the best data rates. There aren't really too many downsides to the Starlink apart from its initial upfront cost if you're not in the correct rural area. If you are, you can get the actual equipment for free, and then it becomes £75 a month, which sounds a lot, but you get ridiculously fast internet, and with the 4G network and the Starlink there's a massive differential when it comes to upload speed. 4G network, you're hardly going to be able to upload anything. On the Starlink network you may as well be hooked into a fibre optic, whereas your mobile phone is probably going to cost you between £20 and £40 a month, so a quarter to half the cost pretty much, which here is a hell of a lot cheaper. So it really does depend how much internet you want to use and what you actually need to get from it. The downside as part of that with the mobile phone network stuff is basically you're going to sometimes not have the correct signal you might need. If you can get a phone signal, you're going to be able to get it to work, but if you don't have any phone signal at all, it might not be an option for you anyway. Your max sort of range is probably going to be about 10 miles, maybe a little bit more away from your main sort of tower to get your signal from with the mobile network. I'm about 8 miles away, and with those directional antennas I get alright signal, but I'm on just the other side of a crest of the hill, so I only clip the top of the tower. If you've got direct line of sight, you're going to get perfect signal a much longer distance. And basically you're going to go from about sort of 15-20 megabyte download speed to about 200 megabyte download speed when you switch from 4G to Starlink. So depending on what your needs are as well, it's going to depend on which one you get. If you've got multiple people wanting to be watching videos, etc., you're going to need to get better than the 4G. Both of these options are ridiculously portable as well. Literally, you can have that aerial on some sort of antenna and drop it down if you're on a van or canal boat or anything like that. Or the Starlink, you literally just fold that away and it packs up. Antennas do come in much smaller capacity as well. This is an omnidirectional one for the 4G network. This is the one I originally used to use. It was pretty good, which you can install permanently like I have as well, so the best of both worlds with them, no negatives either way there. Also with both of these things you are relying on everything working obviously to get your internet, whereas if you've got fibre optic internet to your house, the likelihood of that going down are pretty much slim to none unless someone crashes into one of the junction boxes. But through the mobile phone network, occasionally I guess it must be their tower must need resetting or something, and the internet signal drops right off to basically zero for a couple of hours at a time. Well, it was doing. And with the Starlink, occasionally the similar sort of thing happens. Now I must say with the Starlink it's very rare, but do have some issues where my actual devices won't connect to the Starlink router, which is an issue, a software issue I guess they will iron out eventually. All in all though, both systems work equally well in their own capacity. Can't really do huge uploads as mentioned with the 4G one, so used to be when I was doing YouTube uploads etc, they would take literally like 2 hours, 3 hours to do through the mobile phone network, whereas the 5 minutes or so now with the Starlink. And if you're considering this as a sort of an internet option, you're in the rural area, so you're going to get your Starlink stuff for free generally, and you've got an upfront cost of probably £300-400 for your 4G one, and your 4G one's going to be cheaper long term, so there is a bit of a thing to weigh up there cost wise. I hope that sort of to understand how you get internet when you're off grid, and a couple of different options there. If you've got any more questions, drop them in the comment box below. As always, if you watch this video, give it a like, give me a subscribe if you haven't.